Hi, everyone. Welcome to the info session for the DIRC Student Staff Opportunities for the 2021-2022 academic year. I am Dr. Sophie Leon. I am the Director for DIRC, Diversity Initiatives and Resource Centers, and I use she, her pronouns. So in our info session today, our quick info session today, I'm gonna go over a bit about DIRC, about the background of DIRC. And then really what I'm going to do is focus on position overviews, the learning outcomes for the positions, the job duties, the qualifications, and schedule requirements. Really, that's going to be the meat of what we talk about today. And we'll also talk about the hiring timeline and leave you all with some interview tips. All right, so starting off with the DIRC mission statement. DIRC supports students by building communities that foster a sense of belonging, creating opportunities to engage in self-discovery and critical inquiry, and serving as a hub for resources in inclusive and affirming spaces. We create engagement opportunities that empower, educate, and activate students in the areas of social justice, equity, and anti-racism. So I want to introduce the members of the professional staff just with their photos here. If you're a DIRC frequenter or a center frequenter, hopefully some of these faces will be familiar to you. So as I said, I'm Dr. Sophie Leon, I'm the director for DIRC. Our coordinator of the African American Resource Center is Terrell Forey. The coordinator for the Asian Pacific American Resource Center, APARC, is Tia Chia. The coordinator of the LCRC, or Latinx Community Resource Center, is Ariana Maramero. The LGBT Queer Resource Center coordinator is Nat Betancourt. We have a vacancy right now for the coordinator of the Titan Dreamers Resource Center. We're in the middle of that search, so stay tuned for updates on that. The coordinator for DIRC, the leader of the DIRC A team, as we call it, is Nate Nguyen, and our administrative support coordinator is Lucia De La Torre. All right, so about the positions for 2021-22, we have 10 positions available throughout the various areas of DIRC. So at the department level, or DIRC A team, as we call it, we have 2 PAL positions, programming and activities leads, and I'm going to get into what that means in a couple of slides here. So on the DIRC department level, we have 2 PAL positions open. The ARC, the African American Resource Center, has 1 PAL position open. APARC, Asian Pacific American Resource Center, has 1 PAL, 1 programming activities lead, and 1 comms lead, a communication and graphic design lead position open. The Latinx Community Resource Center, the LCRC, has all of the positions open for the 2021-22 academic year. And all of the positions include 2 PALs, so 2 programming activities leads, and 1 communications and graphic design lead. The Titan Dreamers Resource Center, the TDRC, has 2 PAL positions open. And the LGBT Queer Resource Center, unfortunately, does not have any open positions for the 21-22 academic year. All right, so what will you learn as being a member of the DIRC staff, the DIRC student staff? So in DIRC, we really view our student employment opportunity as a learning opportunity, as a development and growth opportunity, and it's designed as such. And so we have some learning outcomes and competencies that you'll develop. So for outcomes, you'll grow in self-identity development, and you'll be able to facilitate programming and educate others in the area of identity development. You'll also employ effective administrative and customer service skills, as you'll be interfacing with students who are utilizing the center, be it virtually or in person. Competencies that you're going to develop critical thinking and problem solving, oral and written communication, teamwork and collaboration. You're going to be working a lot with computers and technology, so you'll get information technology application. You'll develop professional skills and work ethic, interpersonal skill development, personal development, and of course, cultural competency development. So some of the requirements, we're kind of going to get into the details of the positions now. So right off the bat, you should know all positions, all of the 10 positions we talked about are 10 hours per week while classes are in session. There's additional training that happens during the summer and winter breaks that we'll talk a little bit about. But the main schedule is 10 hours per week while classes are in session. And that exact schedule, that exact 10 hour a week will be worked out with you and your center or area coordinator. And will be based on the needs of the center. All of our positions are open to both undergraduate and graduate students at Cal State Fullerton, so only Cal State Fullerton students. The pay rate is $14 an hour, and that includes all of the training. So all of your regular work, training hours, all of that is paid at $14 an hour. The application period, the applications are open now, opened on March 10th, and they're open until April 4th. Work study is preferred, but not required. And to apply, you're going to create an application form, and I'll talk on the next slide about how to do that. And in that, you're going to submit your resume and cover letter. All right, so how to apply, and then we'll get into some more details. So how you're going to apply is you're going to go to the DIRC website, so fullerton.edu/DIRC, and up at the top in our navigation tabs up at the top, you're going to click on the Student Staff Positions tab. And this is going to bring you to a page that has the listing of all of the openings that I've just gone over. If you scroll down further on this page, you'll get the detailed description of all of the positions. And here you'll notice that there are links under each center or area with the link to the application form. So if you are applying, let's say you are applying in the LCRC and you're interested in both the comms and the PAL positions, you just need to apply once on the LCRC form and you'll be able to check the positions that you're applying for. If you want to apply for positions in multiple centers, you're going to need to complete application forms for each area or center. So if you wanted to apply in APARC and DIRC, you would need to complete application forms for both of those, each of DIRC and APARC, and you would complete the application form, submit your resume and your cover letter for each center or area that you're applying to. All right, so the next little bit, we're going to talk about what these roles actually are. So I've been using the terms PALs and comms, and we're going to get into that. So general duties for all roles, whether PAL or comms. You're going to be nurturing a welcoming environment for all visitors, whether in person or virtual. You'll be assisting with DIRC or center administrative duties, assisting with overall center or area coordination. Again, this is virtual or in person. You'll be collaborating with student leads from all centers. Now, when we're back on campus, I guess I'll take a little pause here to say, we don't know exactly what 2021-2022 academic year is going to look like in terms of whether we're going to be fully in person, fully virtual. Best guess right now is that it's probably going to be some sort of hybrid. And so you can expect that you will be doing some work virtually and that you will be doing some work in person, but we don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet. So we've kind of just provided the overview of sort of both modalities. So when we're back on campus, you'll be providing desk coverage at either the center front desk or the department front desk, depending on where you are, assisting in setting up and taking down equipment for events, helping with tours and workshops when visitors come into the space, helping with facility maintenance, making sure the center stays clean, and providing just general office coordination. So now if we look very specifically at the PALs, so I said PAL was Programming Activities Lead. There are 2 PALs per area, and we talked about how some of the centers are hiring 0, 1, or 2 PALs depending on how many positions are open right now. So the more specific responsibilities for the PALs are the following: to assist in developing, nurturing, and maintaining relationships with partners, assisting in creating programs or events that promote community building, assist in facilitating opportunities for students to connect with faculty, staff, and each other, assist in planning, organizing, and evaluating collaborative programs in identity development, social justice, training, cultural competency building, assist in tabling and giving presentations in the center. That can be both virtual or in person. We do virtual tabling these days. And engage in learning opportunities that are assigned by your coordinator, your direct supervisor. So the qualifications for the PALs, I know there's a lot of text on these slides. All of this information is also available on the website, fullerton.edu/DIRC, under that student staff tab. All of this information is there. So the qualifications for the PALs, so you need to be a full-time student in the fall and the spring and maintain a 2.5 GPA minimum. an ability and willingness to understand and articulate issues of the following: multiculturalism, cross-cultural communication, um, any number of isms, oppressions, etc. You're going to learn a lot about that working in DIRC. So if some of this is new to you, don't worry. You're going to learn about this, and the ability and willingness is really the important thing for the qualifications. Ability to work within the DIRC mission statement that I shared at the beginning of the info session. Ability to effectively manage time in multiple projects. Proven experience working cooperatively and collaboratively as part of a team. Strong interpersonal skills. Ability to work with students, staff, and faculty and the wider community. Ability to stay abreast of current issues on campus and the general campus climate. Might need to be able to work some nights and weekends, especially when we do return to campus and are able to have some of those events that we typically would do outside normal hours. That night and weekends is really going to come into play. Working knowledge of desktop, PCs, everything that we do, much of what we do is over the computer, so just general knowledge there, especially in Zoom world, which I know you all are very familiar with right now. And self-motivated, organized, detail-oriented, ability to prioritize and meet deadlines. All right, so that was for the PALs, the programming activities leads. Now for the COM students, the communications and graphic design leads, the job description is a little bit different. That the general stuff stays the same for both of these positions. But for more specifics for the comms leads, you'll be working on, and we'll need to be able to design marketing and educational materials for center events, to advertise center events, create content and social justice education materials on social media, maintain the center's social media presence, develop content for the center newsletter, and assist the coordinator in maintaining the subscribers. And similar to the other two, assist in tabling either virtual or in person and giving presentations about the center, and engage in learning opportunities assigned by your coordinator. The comms qualifications are, everything is exactly the same as the PALs, with the added third bullet here of proficiency in some graphic design software, be it Canva, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and social media platforms. Everything else is the same. And again, all of this is listed on the DIRC website, fullerton.edu/DIRC, under the student staffs tab. All right, so again, now we're going to go back to something that is the same for both positions, comms and PALs, and the training schedule and requirements. So we've already talked about must be available to work 10 hours per week during the academic year while classes are in session. As part of those 10 hours per week, you're going to attend one-on-one meetings with your coordinator as directed, and you and your coordinator will work out what timing how that's going to look, what the timing is going to look like for that. You'll attend weekly staff meetings, which are generally Friday mornings with the exact time to be set by your coordinator. You'll attend department training known as DIRC Advance. And these are important training dates. So for right before the start of the fall 2021 semester, we have those dates already. So it's going to be during the week of August 9th. So Monday, August 9th through Thursday, August 12th, between the hours of 9 and 5. That will be mandatory training, required training for students, for our student leads. There will also be a secondary training before the start of the spring semester, so in January of 2022. And those exact dates and hours will be set as that date approaches in collaboration with your coordinator and myself, the director. And then other training will be professional development opportunities that are suggested or recommended by your coordinator. All right, so the timeline for this whole process. So even though we're only in mid-March, we are starting the process now for hiring for folks who are going to be starting in August with us. So the applications are open now. Those links are live on the DIRC website, and they will be open until April 4th. April 4th at 9 p.m. is the application deadline. April 4th is the Sunday before the last Sunday of spring break. So right before classes start again after spring break. Then we're going to be doing Zoom interviews between April 5th and April 16th. So in those 2 weeks, you're going to see if you are selected for an interview, you'll be contacted and it will be scheduled during those 2 weeks between April 5th and April 16th. And then we anticipate that we'll be extending offers the end of April, beginning of May. So around April 2016th to May 7th. Time frame. Now, I do want to note that for Zoom interviews, unfortunately, we might not be able to invite everybody for an interview based on the number of applications we get and so on. However, you can be expected to be notified one way or another, whether you are or are not selected for an interview. All right, so I said we were going to leave with some resources, including some interview tips and guidelines. And I want to point you again to our website because we have some resources listed there for you. So under the Student Staff Positions tab on the DIRC website, you'll see we have an FAQs page and an interview tips page. So this is a screenshot of the frequently asked questions, the FAQs page, where we've got lots of things that we've heard over the years about the application process, about working in DIRC. So please check this out. One of the common questions right now we're getting is, will work be in person or virtual? And like I said earlier, I can't tell you all 100% what it's going to look like at this point. So best guess right now is that it's probably going to be a hybrid, meaning that some work is going to be virtual and some work is going to be in person. All right, and then interview tips. So we'll close out with this. So just general interview tips. We know that the interviews are going to be happening via Zoom. These tips might look a little bit different if we were doing things in person, but generally there's actually not too much difference. So review the website and social media for the department and the center, just to familiarize yourself. Know the job responsibilities. Again, you can find that on the website. Come up with interview questions and prepare answers. Maybe this is what kinds of things you think you might be asked. And practice with a friend, practice with those prepared answers. Be on time, please, for your interview. Use concrete examples. So if you're interviewing and you're asked something like, tell me about a time when, use concrete examples to really demonstrate your competency in that particular area. Be aware of nonverbal cues. Again, this is maybe a little bit different over Zoom, but just be aware that anytime that you're on camera or anytime you're interviewing, the entire time you're interviewing, right? Even if the coordinator is talking or the person interviewing you is talking, you're not doing the talking, you're still being interviewed. Dress accordingly, even over Zoom. And please don't ghost us. If something happens or you decide that you're not interested in the position anymore or something else has come up, let the supervisor know, let the hiring supervisor know that you're no longer interested so that we can schedule accordingly. Specifically for Zoom interviews, make sure that you test out your Zoom early, practice again with a friend. Again, you all are very familiar with this these days. Maintain attention on the interview. So I'd recommend close other windows, close other stuff that you've got going on so that you really can focus. And this is my personal one that I added to this slide. I recommend taking notes on paper, not necessarily on your computer or phone, because it can really look like you're very, very distracted if you're taking notes on your computer or certainly on your phone. Whereas personally, I find taking notes on paper is a little bit, you can maintain a little bit better engagement. And again, you're going to find these tips on the website as well. All right, so that's it for me today. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for spending this 20 minutes or so with me. Hope that you will consider joining the DIRC team and we get to see you in the fall. And like I said, visit fullerton.edu/DIRC, specifically that student staff tab for all the position details and everything we covered here today. All right, thank you. Have a great day.